Jan and Mark function as a chorus in the play. In classical Greek drama, a chorus commented on the action of a play and summarised important information. Kelly uses Jan and Mark to reveal key information. It's through Jan and Mark's conversation that the audience learns Adam is dead in Act 1, Scene 1. Starting the play with a chorus will remind some of you of Romeo and Juliet. It is Jan and Mark who detail the torture of Adam in Act 1, Scene 3. It is through Jan and Mark's conversation that the audience learns that Brian is refusing to go to the police in Act 2, Scene 1. It is through Jan and Mark's conversation that the audience learns Kathy found Adam in the woods in Act 3, Scene 1. And it is through Jan and Mark's conversation that the audience learns Leah has left in Act 4, Scene 1. In fact, almost all of Jan and Mark's dialogue is used to fill this chorus role in the play, and this helps us to see them as plot constructs. They further the narrative through plot development and summarise the actions as a chorus. When the audience first meets John Tate, he's talking to Lou and Danny in Act 1, Scene 3. Tate initially appears to be the leader of the group, exercising control through threats of physical violence, explaining that the word dead is banned, and if anyone says it, I'm going to have to, bite their face. This seems to be an effective way to lead Lou and Danny, as the stage directions inform us they say nothing, but it's not an approach which will work with everyone, as we shall soon see. We get the sense that Tate is a bully at school, with Lou admitting to being afraid of him. His name symbolises his authority. He's the only character whose surname is mentioned, which sets him apart from the rest of the group. The use of Tate might link to the way authority figures such as teachers are referred to by their surnames. However, things begin to crumble when Richard, Kathy and Brian arrive. Tate extends the same threat to the new arrivals, but Richard is not intimidated by his threats of violence. "You shouldn't threaten me, John." There follows a brief power struggle between Richard and Tate. When he sees that his threats won't work with Richard, Tate begins to intimidate Danny. "Don't tell Kathy to shut up, Danny," possibly trying to save face in front of the group through asserting his power over someone who will give in to it, and of course this is typical bully behaviour. As we've looked at in his character analysis video, it is Phil who emerges as the leader of the group when he arrives later in the scene. When Phil comes out with his plan, he does so fluently, and this contrasts with the broken and hesitant dialogue of Tate, who says things like, "It's a bit serious, but come on, let's not overplay the. Although all of the dialogue in the play is naturalistic, when we compare Tate's to Phil's, we see how hesitant and unsure of himself John Tate seems to be. After this scene, Tate never appears in the play again. He is, however, referenced by the other characters. Leah tells Phil, "They say John Tate's lost it though, won't come out of his room" in Act 2, Scene 2. Leah says John Tate hasn't been seen in weeks in Act 3, Scene 2. Richard says John Tate's found God. Yeah, I know, he's joined the Jesus Army. He runs around the shopping centre singing and trying to give people leaflets. In a question on power or leadership, it might be worth noting how Tate emerges as an early leader, but is unable to control the group through his one single approach of threats and violence. This contrasts with Phil's approach, who leads different characters in different ways. As Tate himself says of Phil and Leah, "Kathy says you're clever." This cleverness from Phil allows him to manipulate and control members of the group in different ways, which is something John Tate is unable to achieve. When I asked Dennis Kelly about this character, he said, "It's really tempting to think John Tate, he's the boss, he's controlling all this, he's on top of it, he's got everyone. But actually we find out when we come back to the second act, we find he's not on top of anything. He's just a kid. He's not this kind of super smart gang leader type person. He's a kid who kind of happened to find himself in this situation and probably thought, I don't know why these people are listening to me, but I'm going to make hay while it's happening." And as we see in the play, the window of opportunity where the others do listen to John Tate is small, as he is soon challenged by Richard and replaced by Phil. If you found this video useful, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.